Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Happy August 1st. Like, how is it? It's like 8, month number 8 out of 12. 8. 8. You guys got it, right? 8. It's crazy. Like, I just feel like it was January, and then it was, February, and then it was summer, and then we went to summit, and then it's like August. And I feel like time is really, really flying. So it's Cup month, right? It's Team Cup month. So I'm excited about that. We are going to help a ton of lives. So yesterday we had our Team Cup call, and I loved what our team captain had to say. And she said, which is Amy, she said that she changed the whole system, guys. Like the whole thing. I was like, what? What is she doing? She changed everything. She said it's not called Success Club anymore. That's it. No mas. And I said, okay, tell me, what is it called? And she said, it's called the amount of lives that we impact. I love it. So we are going to impact a ton of lives. And that's what I want to focus on in the month of August, which I actually have to go ahead and put our post on Team Admin. And that needs to keep resurfacing every single day because, I think that we need to shift the way we see things. And, and obviously we understand that this is a tracking system for Beachbody, right? That helps us see how we're moving our business forward. But at the end of the day, if we focus on the amount of lives that we help, we're going to move our business forward because that's what it's all about, right? If we focus on just really genuinely touching people's lives and helping people, we're going to move our business forward. And I think that we just need to focus on that because that's what helped us, right? Somebody reached out and said, hey, this is working for me. Or maybe you saw someone's post and you were inspired. And that's what we need to keep doing, focusing on that. So I really love that Amy changed that around for us and that's all we're calling it. So I kind of want to, do that for the entire month. I don't want to see any of it as a Success Club point. We understand that that's how Beachbody tracks it. But I think that if we focus on I helped one person and really just focus on that, we know in the back of our head, right, that it's 2 points. We get that. But if we can focus on helping, one person, 2 people, 3 people. And I can't remember the name of the movie, but I've watched it when I was on our way to Texas. And babe, what's the name of that movie? I'm bad with titles. What's the name of that movie? The one with the war, the guy that he wouldn't hold what's it called? I think I told you guys.
Something. Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes, thank you. So he says, and it was very moving. And then I really put myself at that moment towards the end of the movie as a coach. He kept praying, God, help me help one more. And I really want us to take that to heart tonight and really just focus on helping one more. And then once we help one, then we focus on the next person. So I'm excited about August. August is going to be, I just feel it. I feel it in my gut. It's going to be a really great month for all of us. It's going to be a great month for helping people. We're going to not just impact them, but we're going to be able to impact their family, their community. So let's just focus on that. But without further ado, I had a conversation with Amy maybe 2 weeks ago. And in that conversation, we were talking about fear. And she said something that triggered, and she said, we should actually have a call. She said it, and she said, we should definitely have a call on how to kind of navigate through fear. I can't remember exactly the conversation. Maybe she'll, just like remember because I'm not remembering anything tonight, and talk a little bit about that. I'm not sure if she was, but I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Amy. But she did say, maybe we should have a call where someone talks about navigating through fear. And I said, why don't you do that? And so she, gracefully accepted, and I'm excited that she has. And tonight's call is Be not afraid, learning how to listen through and eliminate fear. So without further ado, our Emerald coach, Amy Baer, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Gabby. I made the mistake of saying, "Hey, Gabby, we should have a call about this, and let me tell you what I was thinking." And then she's like, "Yeah, you want to do that?" And I was like, "Oh, that was not what I thought I was signing up for." But sure, I'm not gonna. That feels like the Holy Spirit at work when things like that happen. So I try to just listen and be open and willing to answer when that call comes. So I think the impetus for it was that I was in the middle of Sean Week, and Sean Week I don't know how the rest of you felt about it, but as I was doing Sean Week, it took me back to the days when I did Insanity and T25, and when I was 40, 50 more pounds than I am now, and wasn't able to do a lot of the moves, and also wasn't humble enough to just modify. It was like this fear of failure just basically caused me to quit. It sent me to make the choice to just quit on Insanity and T25. And then here I was 35 pounds lighter doing Sean Week, and I was able to do a lot of Sean's moves that I couldn't have done before. And I realized that what was holding me back years and years ago, whenever I was doing those other programs, essentially was fear. It was a fear of failure. I didn't want to fail, and so I'll just not do it. Right? I'll just run away from it. I think that was what brought the topic up for me. And then, we heard a lot of you here on the call were at Summit, and we heard a lot of speakers talk about fear. And I'll try not to say a bunch of stuff that we heard at Summit. There's only like one thing in my notes that I'm remembering, and I think it's worth repeating. So hopefully this is helpful for you all, and I will try not to talk too much. Okay, so when I think about fear in our lives as Beachbody coaches, I think that, there's obviously fear of failure, but I think the one that I hear over and over again is fear of rejection. That's the one that I think really eats at me, and from what I hear from other coaches, that fear of rejection is what oftentimes will hold us back from some of the inviting that we could do, or some other types of engagement we could do as a coach, or just our self-confidence, right? Fear of rejection. So I want to share a couple of tools with you that have been helpful for me. So here's the deal. First of all, before we go any further, if we are, sorry, my kids are in the process of going to sleep, so it will maybe noisy for a minute or two, but hopefully not. So as Beachbody coaches, we're inviting people to make changes in their lives, okay? And even positive and productive changes like the ones that we offer other people, I think we all know that the only person who likes change is a wet baby, right? Nobody else really likes change. Change is not pleasant. It's hard, okay? And, if we're inviting people to change, we're bound to be rejected sometimes. But first and foremost, I think we must never take that personally. I think this is part of the reason why the fear of rejection becomes so heavy, because we start to take it personally. That kind of rejection, where people just don't want that change in their life, is a product of a person who just isn't ready yet. So instead of taking it personally, if you're a person of faith, this is where I go in my mind as a person of faith. If you're a person of faith, you can always look to, let's say, Jesus, Sunday school answer, right? But if we look to him, he was someone who dealt with rejection all the time, okay? And what did he tell his disciples to do when they were rejected? He said, shake the dust off of your feet and move on. Don't take it personally. Don't carry it with you like a bag of rocks on your back. Like, no, just dust it off. Move on. Whoever that is, it's not ready yet. And that's okay. Okay? Not everybody's ready at the same time. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to just say before I share the tools that I've come up with is that there's a huge difference between rejections and objections. Okay, this is something that did get illustrated for me at Summit, although I can't remember when it was. So some of it may sound familiar to you, but hopefully it's worth repeating this one little segment. So the difference between rejections and objections. So rejection is an outright no, okay? But objections are almost always, in truth, invitations to share your story more. Okay? So let's look at some of the common objections that we get as Beachbody coaches. So for example, oh, I don't have the money to do that. Is that a rejection? No. That is an opportunity for you to share your story, because that person doesn't understand the value of what it is that we offer in our challenge group, with our nutrition programs, with Shakeology, with the workouts, with you as a coach. I don't have the money is not a rejection. That's an objection, okay? Not to be taken personally. And it is, like I said, an opportunity to share your story more. Okay, another rejection. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I'm too busy. I just don't have time. Okay, so again, an opportunity. That objection is not a rejection. It's an objection, and it's an opportunity to share your story. This is someone who hasn't decided to put themselves on their priority list yet. I don't have time means I haven't put myself on the list of top 5 things to do every day yet. And as a coach, it's then your job to share how you made the transition from not putting yourself on your own priority list to doing so. Okay? Or maybe examples of people from your challenge group who have done the same, right? I mean, I think all of us can probably give an example of how we moved through that objection ourselves, right? Third objection, I don't think I can do it. That is not a rejection of you if somebody says that to you. That is an objection. That is I don't believe in myself yet. Again, that is a coach's opportunity to share your story. Tell your story of how it is that you came to believe in yourself. So, okay, so all that being said about fear, rejection, objections. So I have 2 tools that I want to share with you. So I'll name the tool after I tell you the story. So tool number 1, here's the story. So Ryan, when he was a little boy, my husband Ryan, when he was a little boy, was on a little league team, and he suddenly had this experience where he started striking out. Raise your hand if you've ever played baseball or softball. Okay, I think Maritza did. She's raising her hand. She came back to us. Okay, so, and I never played other than church league softball, which I don't think counts. So anyway, the story he tells is that he started striking out, and a lot. And here's the deal. Striking out, according to him, he says, it sucks. It's really embarrassing. It's not fun. It's not successful. You have to trudge back to the dugout having struck out. Okay. It's one thing to put the ball in play, to hit and get an out or whatever. But it's another thing to hear the defeat of that pitched ball hit that catcher's mitt as you look at it. Okay. So he started striking out, and basically he developed this really deep fear of striking out. And it's like this belief system set in for him that, he just didn't know what to do. And he says that he believes he set the record for strikeouts in the league for a while. And, that all his mind could do was see him striking out. So he had a wise coach who came to him and explained that he needed to visualize his success. So tool number 1 is visualization, okay? Here's a little hint. There is a magical connection, okay, between what your mind sees and what your body can actually do. I actually can think of a great example of this. It goes back to that modifications thing, right? Like I would tell myself that, I've never been able to do that. I won't be able to do that. Surely I can't do it now. And I'll just not do it. I'll just dog it, because my mind couldn't see me succeeding at that. A jumping jack is a great example for me. So his coach came to him and taught him in this strikeout scenario to visualize what it looks like when his bat hits that ball, to see it, to feel it, to embrace it, to visualize it. And what happened for him, he still struck out sometimes, okay, but he had more fun. He put the ball in play a lot more often than he struck out. And when he did strike out, it wasn't as bad or as big a deal as it had been built up to be. So tool number 1 is visualize your success. And I mean this, like when I do inviting, I'm going off script for a sec. When I do inviting, I will visualize the person that I'm about to encounter, and I will think about them and their needs, and I will love on them authentically. Like in my heart, I'll be thinking about, Robin, I remember this story about her and this story about her, and she really needs this. And I'm going to reach out to her, and I'm just going to pour my heart out to her and ask her how she's doing. And it's really amazing. People can feel that even through social media. Like you think that your intention doesn't come through sometimes, when it's through a text message or a Facebook message, but it really can, that visualization of visualizing just authentic connection with that person on the other end of the message is for real. And I encourage you to do it. Okay, tool number 2. I don't know if you've ever heard this story before. So in the early days of aviation, lots and lots of pilots were dying in training accidents. And they discovered that many pilots would have a tendency to fly toward whatever their eyes happened to be fixed on. So if their eyes were fixed on a tree line, right, on a ridge or something, that they were more and more likely to have a tendency to crash into it, the thing that they were looking at. It's called target fixation. So I pose the question to you, tool number 2, fixation. So instead of focusing on our barriers as coaches, like self-doubt, possible rejection, possible failure, imperfection, instead of focusing on those things, could we fixate, instead of focusing on those obstacles that are in our way? I wonder if you and I could fixate on really just being ourselves. Chris Downing this week spoke, I don't know if it was on the Team Champions page or something, but he went live and he said, come on, you guys, let's be awesome. Be you, be awesome. find your purpose. And he, of course, was totally preaching to us, which was really awesome. He was really great. I encourage you to go to the Beachbody Champions page and see if you can find Chris Downing's live from the last couple of days, because it was really, really powerful. But could we fixate, instead of on these negative things, could we fixate on really just being more of ourselves, on being a helper, on being awesome, on being a positive force for good in the world, right? In our day-to-day, minute-to-minute, hour-by-hour moments, on caring for people from our hearts. Could we fixate on the gratification and fun that it is to see somebody in our group succeed in their first week or in their first challenge? And that's on your watch, coach, right? Could we fixate on that? Would we rather focus on rejection, doubt, failure? No. Let's not. Instead, let's focus on every opportunity that we have to help someone with their goals and their problems. Okay? Ask yourself, ask others, how can I be of service to you? Let's fixate on that question. And I do want to, this isn't a ministry. What we do as coaches, it isn't just, sometimes I feel like it's a ministry, and in many ways it is, but it's not. It is a business, okay? We don't need to be embarrassed by that. But one of the things that I've heard Dave Ramsey say, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University guy, but Dave Ramsey says that businesses that are good at helping other people solve their problems get these great little award certificates, the kind with presidents' faces on them, right? This is a great little award certificate that you can get if you're really good at what you do. And you deserve that. The laborer is worth their pay, right? But how can we focus on being of service to other people and solving their problems, right? And when our focus turns away from that fear of rejection and listening to that doubt and listening to the negativity, and our focus turns toward how do we serve others, in what ways can we be more ourselves in the service of others? Focusing on being authentically who you are. So Laura, Luis, Nilda, James, all of you guys, like every one of us has a special spark that is unique to each one of us. God has made each of us special. None of us are, just like Chalene Johnson said at Summit, borrowed words are for the birds. What she means by that, I think she probably means lots of things, but one of the things I think she means is you be you. Everybody else is taken, right? What the world needs, it's one of my very favorite quotes. I use it as my email signature, and I think it's Howard Thurman that said this. He said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and then go and do that, because that's what the world needs. The world needs more people who have come alive." So, could we fixate on being authentically exactly who we are and being more of that as coaches? Ryan and I went to seminary, and in a preaching class one time, one of our professors, I was having some preacher voice problems. Like I just couldn't find my voice, and I was feeling insecure about being in a pulpit, which I still am, but he said something that was really helpful at the time. He said, you need to listen for what the Holy Spirit is asking you to say, not just anybody, to these people, not just any people, on this day, not just any day. The point is for you, to be real, and to be present with your people, whether you're inviting them, whether they're a coach that you're training, whether they're a challenger you're trying to pull up out of the depths. They need you, not somebody else. They've come to you, or you're coming to them, right? If you're inviting them, and you have something to offer them that nobody else can offer them. The products that we bring to people aren't really the product. We talk about this all the time, right? It's us. It's our help and care and nurture of people. That's why they come to us. And you have a journey. That journey is for you to own. And that journey empowers you to be the most helpful that you can be to every person that comes in your path, whether it's a Beachbody challenger or the guy in the line next to you at Starbucks. Being you, authentically you, all the time, and being more of that is the biggest power that you have in your life. So I encourage you to take these two tools, to take visualization, visualize success. Look at it, imagine it, play it through, role play it, whatever you need to do to visualize that success in whatever Beachbody coaching situation or situation in your life. Visualize it. It's much more likely to happen if you do. And then fixate on the right things. Fixate on your purpose. Fixate on being the awesomeness that you are. Fixate on what makes you come alive, and you will, and it will transmit to other people. I think that's all I got, Gabby. That's it. Mic drop.
That was awesome. Hang on, I gotta do the gallery view. I was recording, so I had to put you on blast, you know? It was just the speaker view. That was awesome. I took notes, and Jorge was over here like, she is preaching. I was like, she is. I love everything about, you know, the two tools that you gave us. And it's funny that you talk about that because, you know, when we're coaching people, and I think that in one of the closing questions, I talk about that, how you have to show people what they're capable of doing by speaking to them in that state, you know? I just like celebrate without even being there so that they can feel it. And while we were at Tony Robbins, he did a lot of that for us. You know, you have to really be in the moment and really feel it. And there were, you know, obviously a ton of exercises that put us through that to visualize in a positive way, and visualize if we don't take ownership of our shit basically and do the things that we know we're capable of doing, that we're capable of being successful beings that, you know, God created us to be. What is it going to look like in 5 years if, you know, if we continue in the path that we're in today, or 10 years, and really feel it and visualize it and like really fixate on that, you know? And it was a very interesting exercise to say the least. So this kind of just, you know, wraps it all together. So thank you so much for sharing with us. I don't know why it is that you feel, you know, I love when you like get into that preacher mode. I love it. And I told you, I feel like you need to do more of it. You need to do more lives on it, because I think a lot of people need Amy. That's just me though. So any questions, any feedback, team? Unmute yourself. And
Chris Downing in our Team Advent group, and just post from time to time, like the weekly thing in Team Advent.
I didn't hear the beginning of that. Can you ask it one more time?
I said you could be like a Chris Downing in the Team Advent page and come in once a week.
No, that's Gabby's gig. That's
not true. This is our team. I agree with Marisol. I agree. I second that, Marisol. Anyone else? All right, everyone is shy today.
Ryan's in the background. He says, if I do that, he wants to make sure that you're going to pass the offering plate.
We're going to have to ask Ryan to join you then.
Yeah, he says, always be closing. Right. What does that mean?
Amy's like, what do you mean? But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Amy, seriously, thank you for tonight. I think that we all deal with fear on a daily basis. And I think this is something that that is going to happen on a daily basis. So I don't think that it'll never go away. But I think that if we implement the tools that Amy shared with us tonight, we'll be able to navigate through that. And we can. I think it's just really knowing that fear is not real. It's just us telling ourselves stories over and over and over, and we start to believe them. But if we learn to practice these tools and put them into practice every single day, we will definitely be able to kick it to the curb and really just be the awesome beings that we were born to be, and and help other people also be awesome themselves. So thank you, Amy, for tonight. Thank you for agreeing to lead tonight's call. And guys, August 1st, if you haven't done your power hour, go do your power hour. Let me see, there's a chat going on. Silo said, caring without self-interest, being genuine. Maritza said, Amy, amazing Amy, right? Great job, Amy, from Jamie, from James Smith. And then Christian said,
It really threw me off. I was like,
who's James? Anyway, have a great night, guys. Michelle's busy over there. She is. Look at her. Why is it that Jamie's not over there helping?